Hello, and welcome to the first ever edition of Explaining Very Concerning Things. I'm your host, Steven. Unfortunately, as you can probably tell, I'm sitting on the floor, and I don't have a lavalier mic on. That's because everything is going to shit. Not just with the world, but also this video. So, screw it. I don't care anymore. On today's edition of EVCT, Thouser is right. For those of you who haven't been keeping up with Kamen Riders Hero 1, allow me to explain who Thouser is. Guy Yamatsu, Kamen Rider Thouser, is one of the villains of the show, who is the CEO of the Japanese branch of the rival tech company to that of our hero's business, Theyre Technology, in an attempt to increase his own sales and stop the spread of actually dangerous super advanced androids. He announces a total buyout of Theyre Technologies. To be fair, I'm not necessarily condoning his actions and methods, but the simple fact of the matter is that his efforts are morally just and against a dystopian doomsday that real tech millionaires are prepping for right now. Also, he looks fly as hell. While most of those who we've seen using the Zaya specs have been, dicks, that is clearly only meant to push the narrative that Zaya is the bad guy of this story. But let's take an actual look at the message of Zaya and Thouser in relation to that of Aruto and Theyre Technologies. Humans are better than robots, and we should be utilizing AI to push humans further, rather than creating devices that will inevitably replace humans in their jobs. Where's the problem in that mission statement? That's an easy question to answer. Nowhere. The only reason you think he's wrong is because the story spent the whole first arc telling you just how cool the Humagear are and how they're totally just like people. But the simple fact of the matter is they're not humans. And they're not people. Also, these not humans are taking jobs from humans. If you're aware of anything happening in our world over the past, 20, 30 years, then you'd know that's like a real issue happening right now. But unlike in our real world, where AI and robots are mainly affecting only the low-skilled and manual labor jobs, just most of the jobs in any economy, Theyre's terrifying future would have Humagear replacing everyone's jobs. Art, which requires an intricate understanding of human emotion and objectivity, give it to the AI. Defense attorney, which requires a deep comprehension of human ethics and law, give it to the robots and capable of subjectivity. Actors, coaches, chefs, voice actors, comedians, and so on. Not only are the Humagear after the manual labor positions, but also the highly skilled positions that require even more work and education to get. And tell me, what CEO is going to pick a human who gets sick, has families, can get injured, and, that they have to pay over a robot who does the job objectively better and faster, and they only have to pay for once, maybe twice, depending on upkeep. Theyre Technologies can just drop some data into a pretty robot and sell it to you with a nice smile. Next thing you know, everyone is out of a job because they've been replaced with Humagear, and your economy has tanked into nothing. What happens then? Well, the people who don't have jobs and thus money and thus things like food and housing will probably get a little bit angry. After that, they would probably start rioting and tear down the current state and economy that's left them hungry and poor. Don't believe me? Well, you don't just have to take my word for it. Luckily, you can take the word of the people who have just been, working on the very technologies threatening to take our jobs right now and have become literal doomsday preppers because of it. This isn't a joke. Here's some articles about it. Here's some direct quotes. Justin Kahn, co-founder of Twitch, said he started prepping when, quote, "Some of my friends were like, the breakdown of society is imminent. When asked what his fellow preppers have in common, his response was lots of money and resources, and likened it to buying insurance. What are they buying insurance against? How about the newly angry jobless mobs that form, quote, a revolution or a change where society is going to go after the 1%ers, aka, you know, that whole eating the rich thing? Don't want to read? Well, here's some clips of people telling you this.
And they tell me what they do, and every single time I could think of some startup or Y Combinator company that basically is working madly to code them out of a job.
Like, if we don't manage this very well, it's going to cause like a new French Revolution, right?
Including the president of the World Bank.
Accelerations in technology are changing the landscape. We estimate that 2/3 of all jobs that currently exist in developing countries will be wiped out by automation.
It was literally the basis of a presidential candidate's platform.
I'll describe my conversations with truck drivers. 2 years ago, if you said, hey, trucks are going to start driving themselves in a number of years, they would look at you and say, there is no way a robot could ever do my job.
Right.
And then that turned this past year, and now the conversation is we have to make robot trucks illegal.
Even if we decide to keep within the fiction of Kamen Rider 01, racists and hate groups exist. Those hate groups tend to do crime, specifically some violent crime. And what happens when, you know, a person does a violent crime to a human gear? Oh yeah, they go berserk and start trying to kill all humans. With a lot of people losing their jobs to these robots, I'm guessing we'd see just those anti-robot groups get a little bit bigger and more angry. Well, if you're saying it's only going to be a small percentage that go berserk, only a small percentage of Samsung's phones exploded, and they're still not allowed on planes. If a brand of laptop has a 1% chance to shoot you if you bump it too hard, I'm guessing you're not gonna buy a laptop from that brand. Guys, I need to level with you. The message you stand for when you cheer on Hidden Technologies and the Human Gear is the message of the collapse of our society. This is a real problem threatening millions of people around the world and has already hit millions more. Next time you watch an episode of 01, think about what Aruto is actually advocating for. Robots are coming to take over the world, and Hidden is at the heart of it. Anyways, thanks for watching this only slightly exaggerated look into how our whole world is just screwed. This video reminded me of the deep existential dread I feel for our future, and I'm glad I can now share that fear with you. Stay safe and keep your bug-out bags nearby, and I'll see you in New Zealand. Or the next video. Whichever one comes first.